Hello, what's up internet? I'm Edikal and I'm going to make a short landmark video. Here you see me on my neighbor's balcony, and you see my temple which I've created into the side of the mountain. This is sort of a three-store temple with a larger structure in the middle and a roof and a cellar. And it's really a scenic place, neighbors all over the place. Down there is Mysteria, it's building a hobbit hole. And most of the people are building huge towers on mountain tops, and this is my neighbor's building. I thought I'd show you because it is also very interesting. A little bit too much stone for my taste, but it looks a little bit like a James Bond villain lair, and I don't know if that is was the idea, but the grey look really makes it like some evil dude lair. But I admire all these crafted stuff because you really see a lot of very creative people. Here is sort of a throne room which he built, and the funny thing is, as you see, I'm really lost in this building trying to get out, and some people really on purpose made sort of death trap buildings where you can fall in, and without a grappling hook or without an emergency evacuation you really can't get out. But it was just because I was lost in this is really tall castle which he had already built. Or I'm always making jokes from the outside, it looks like a sort of a bunker. And I'm walking over to the hobbit hole which my neighbor Wisteria has built. Look how she's doing. I'm always visiting my neighbors regularly, looking what they've been built, and so a few of them I've already met and greeted and talked about. This is really a beautiful landscape. I know that Everquest landmarks looks not so great just from looking at the videos, but I can tell you in reality it really looks cool when you're inside that thing. And as you see, here's another neighbor, and she's just begun to build the first rooms into that mountainside, which is, as I said, will be a little bit like a hobbit hole. And you can already see the round door, and it really takes a lot of effort and time to build all that stuff. And that's really the creating stuff is really where the great fun lies. And I'm going up now to chop a little wood from the trees. This is of course one of the marine resources, and it's a little bit tricky at the moment to really find the right angle at bigger trees, but keep in mind this is alpha. So here you see the green bar which goes down as the tree is harvested away. It's sort of like a health bar of the tree, and there is as much wood inside the tree to harvest as the size. The bigger trees have of course more wood, and you see in the chat window how the wood is slowly gathering, and then the tree is gone. So let's jog over there for a moment and show how mining is done. This is two basic ways to get stuff right now, is mining and chopping wood. And you see there is tungsten ore in the mountainside here. It's a little bit the greenish stuff, and you just hack into the and this is really what I love about Everquest next landmarks, and is that you can all the landscape, you can just anywhere, not just where ore is, but you can just dig into the landscape, and all the landscape is not just surface, it's all deep and real in a sort of way. It gives a sense of realism, and more often than not I dug myself deep into the earth, and I sometimes wasn't really easy able to get out. And there is another neighbor, I haven't yet met him, but you see there are a lot of castles on mountaintops. It's really a wonderful evening setting, sunset now. And you see he was starting to build some manor or house, and it takes a lot of materials. The harvesting really takes time, and I'm not sure if I will have the patience to do all the harvesting in the long run. Maybe they will add an auction house where you can get all the stuff yourself. Here is now the the Temple of Spirituality, which I had built, and I'm going out now to show you a little bit of a craft of creating how this is done, because this is the more interesting stuff, because I haven't shown that yet. There are the crafting stations, you need to craft them too. You can do all the stuff, you can scale them smaller, move them around, rotate them, pick them up, of course, and I'm going to scale them down because I want to create a sort of crafting pagoda here on the rooftop. And so I'm scaling them down a bit because they are a little bit too tall, too large for my taste to really fit into what I have in mind. I want to create something like a little bit of Chinese or Japanese pagoda with wood, and I'm going to show you in a moment how the basics of the creation stuff, but I started to scale them down so they easier fit into it. In the bottom of the bar you see a lot of tools. You can place stuff, and first you start by selecting a shape. In this case I'm taking a cubical shape to build, and then materials and how the materials look. I'm on the surface, I'm taking wood, and then I'm trying out a certain wood style. And now you can place the cubes in various sizes. Just with the mouse scroll you make the size larger or smaller. I'm building now with the smallest size because it is, as I said, supposed to look like a pagoda. And as you see, you just place cube on cube or whatever shape you take, and I'm starting to build from the ground up like this. A simpler way, if you have better tools, then is a selection tool. You need to craft that also. You just select a certain space, and you can do with this space all of the things that you have with your tools, like dye or other changes. And in this state I just fill it, and I wasn't so entirely happy with the wooden look. There are other surface looks, so I choose a way to select the floor again, and I'm using the dye tool. The dye tool essentially replaces the material entirely with different material or different style of the material. I'm taking wood again and another surface structure and place it upon it, and re-dyed is just as another sort of wood, and it is now a different surface texture. Wasn't entirely happy with that surface as it didn't really have a pagoda floor look, so I just tried to... It's a little bit, you can experiment with these materials endlessly, because what you spend you get it back. If you replace the wood with, say, stone or metal, the former material just goes back into your backpack, so you really don't lose anything. And I'm trying to make a few fence pieces, and I think that I made it a different way, so I delete this one, and I'm going to show how copy and paste works, which is really a powerful tool. And if you manage to learn the tools, it's a little bit tricky learning all this, so I just put more elements. And one of the funny thing you see here is it's a little bit like Spider-Man. You can jump up with a line, and that's really helpful, the grappling hook it's called, because otherwise it would be really difficult to build really structures upward. And these are the basic parts of this column in the corner. And what I'm going to do is I can just use the copy tool. The marking and making the copy function is a little bit tricky, and I really hope they make this maybe easier, because using with a 2D game in a 3D world is a little bit tricky and takes a little bit of practice. And you see I've copied this column, and it's of course in the wrong way around. So what I'm going to do is just swap to this circle tool, and so I can turn it around and place another column. And in this way you can build virtually anything, just how far your imagination and your practice and experience with the tools go. It's really fascinating what you can build with this. So, and here I'm going to show you a bit around in what I call my chapel of spirituality. I really like the landscape because you can see very far, and the great thing is everything you can see you can go. Nothing of this is just background stuff you can't really reach. As you see, I built this into the mountainside. I restarted a little bit. Only the basic structure is as it was before. I started with the roof, and the crafting machines are placed here, and for the various materials. This is more a placeholder area where I'm not sure what I'm going to place on the roof. I really can't wait until there is water. I'm really looking forward for rivers or lakes. I built a small guard tower into the small errors I made in creating. I have to correct this later. So you see they can use various materials, looking like small bricks, larger bricks, wooden ceilings, and marble stone. And this isn't real marble. Marble is really hard to come by. It's just some stucco, cheap imitation stuff, but with a little bit of fantasy, it almost looks like marble. And it was supposed to be a little bit like an Arabian style, if you wish. I really love how the lighting is in the game already, and sunsets. Yeah, placed some fire braziers into this, and this was my first copy-paste experience. Those large columns at the side. Let's make some fire here, and this is not ready by far. It's just the early stage in creating it. I placed a blue ink, if you know, it's a little nudge to Ultima, and I'm going down to my personal apartment, which I built into the cellar, into the side of the mountain, and try to make this a little bit more comfy with a fireplace and a couch. And I really love this balcony. This is just my favorite spot in the entire claim. The idea to sit here, have breakfast, or have dinner on the balcony looking out on the landscape. This is really is something that I felt was really well and going into a wonderful direction. This is my for a warm fireplace in the evenings to read a good book. There's not much, and oh yeah, I had to write my name into the wall. A little bit derp, I know, but so what. On the early stage of a bedroom, made a small bed out of building bricks here. And something I'm very and especially proud of, which I always made fun of that no fantasy game has that in the houses, is what? Yes, a restroom. You can go to the toilet here. It has no door. Sorry, you have to. But nobody visits you here so often. But so you don't need a door there. So that's my chapel of spirituality and my wonderful apartment, and I really enjoyed how this already looks, and I'm going to look forward whatever Sony is adding to this. So I hope you liked the small video, and let me hear what you think.